Even provide matching socks to Gaza, but here's all the aid that y'all claim doesn't exist. Now walk with me. I'm here in Gaza, and all I see is food, water, and opportunity. But instead of Hamas distributing the ramen noodles, they're eating it all, and that's why their leaders are on Ozempic. The United Nations brings the food here to look like they're actually doing something productive, but they never finish the job, just like your ex. Now this food is sitting here collecting flies, but y'all want to blame Israel. Then you have Egypt, who built the wall of Donald Trump's dreams, keeping the Palestinians here, but y'all don't say anything to them. Why don't you call on any of the nations of Islam to distribute the food to Palestinians? Mind you, there is petroleum right there. Energy, Gaza got the energy, Gaza got the terrorists wasting all the energy.
With Charlie's.
Yeah, that's happening. Good morning, all. How's it going? So, it's typical. Things are pretty typical around here. You got your people in the world, and they're just like, look at me. People are like, let's kill people. And other people are like, no, let's just have butt sex. And other people are like, no, let's get mad at the people that are having butt sex. Meanwhile, people are killing each other. No one has any problem with that. It's just always about, don't you dare fucking have gay sex with that other person. Don't you dare show affection to anyone that carries the same genitals as you. But meanwhile, we're killing each other. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. And you may want to say, oh, James, the world's broken. You may want to say that. You may want to say, James, the world is fucked up. James, you may want to say, James, the entire thing is just evil. And you're fucking right. I mean, what am I gonna fucking argue with that? I think a lot of the arguments that people have with me is that they think that because I'm telling you there's no supernatural evil, like no supernatural source for evil, it must mean that there's no evil in the world. And you're what's called a dumbass. You're like a dipshit dumbass. And you're actually proving that this is what I mean. You're not a supernatural dumbass evil. You're just a dumbass evil that likes to dichotomize things. You like to bicamerally dichotomize things, which is why I don't have listeners, because you can't go around saying you like to dichotomize things. People are like, dicot. It's like a dicor, right? It's like you got to cut your die. I work in a die cutting shop, and this is some dichotomy right here. This is some dichotomy. It's just what's going on. It's like, no, dude, I know. I can't even say fucking cosmology around here. Just like as soon as I say cosmology, people are like, I try and follow you, but I just don't really understand. It just sounds like word salad. And because you're giving word salad, it must mean that you're just not making any sense. And even though people are like liking your posts and like watching you and say, hey, James, you profoundly had a good show the other day, they're just full of shit because clearly you just don't make any sense because you use the word cosmology. And I'm just like, wow, we're in kindergarten. And that's why the world's not broken. Guys, you have to consider that the egregore is going to grow up after you. It needs you. Let me rephrase that. The egregore is going to grow up after half of you. Half of you are way the fuck ahead of the egregore. Okay? And this is your problem, honestly. You know what you are? You're one of those walk-aheaders. People are like, look at that narcissist walking ahead. And you're walking ahead. I'm calling you the narc. Well, why are you watching me now, right? It's like, oh, it's weird. Can we just go back to the guy? Like, James, do we have to go here where we talk about ourselves? No, we can blame other people. Check it out.
Fascination with the kind of trajectory that we see with like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. I guess I'm curious about what's another game plan if we lose evangelical support for the state of Israel. What's our backup plan to be strong, like outside in the diaspora?
Christian influencers. Okay. You said you talked about the woke right, and he said I call it the woke right. And what we have to do.
He made a joke about how it's the woke right. He was just like, hey, I'm just making a joke, but really they're just kind of like Nazis who are our major standholders, Miss Aryan lady, asking questions about how you can cradle the balls of Israel in your mouth a little bit longer. James, stop it. James, this is not the fault of youth. It is the fault of some sort of liberal agenda or conservative agenda. James, that's the problem. The problem is there's some sort of agenda out there. And if the agenda wasn't there, we would be able to have nice things. And it's the agenda, it's not us. It's not us. Meanwhile, half of you were like, why am I so far ahead of the egregore? And why is James calling me names? And I'm like, I don't know. I just saw something the other day. It's like if your partner walks ahead of you, then they're a narcissist. And I'm just like, man, this is tricky because I don't know what you can do. Like this is, I'm just saying it's tricky. There's a lot out there, it's tricky. And meanwhile, you got half the people like, we're going to throw you in the category of half the people. And that's not even all the country. It's literally the minority of the country. It's like 49% of the people actually vote. And those people they're the knuckle draggers. They're the ones that are just like, we will stay informed. And when you say informed, it's like we will freebase gay black men partying in Gaza, shaming me because I have the nerve to oppose genocide. I don't even like using that word. It's so overused. I use it all the time. Man, I tell you. So is it broken? No. You're probably in the half that's honestly had the egregore. Why? Because I use words like egregore. That's why. That's why. It's not me. It's just a fucking litmus. If you're going to sit around and watch a guy that says the word egregore, right? Egregore. If you're going to walk around, if you're going to listen to a guy doing that, you're probably in the half that is ahead of the egregore, and you're always looking back at the egregore while it's calling you a narcissist, saying, dude, will you stop dragging your vagina penis? Can you not just keep up? And the whole time the vagina penis hyena is just like, you're gay, or you're not homesteady enough, or you're not sovereign enough, or you're not liberal enough, or you're not MAGA enough, or you're not all the other stuff enough. And why are you shaming that thing? You came from there. Why are you shaming it? It's stupid, but doesn't the fact of how stupid it is kind of show you what it is? Like, isn't it being honest? Isn't it kind of an honest stupidity? Like it's walking around like a chicken hawk, I am a chicken hawk, and we're going to bring peace to the Middle East because we're going to annihilate the shit out of them because God said that there's a kingdom, and if there's a kingdom, there's a king, and even though they fucking said no king's rally, and even though we're the party of independence, we want a fucking king, and it's not going to be Jesus, but it is going to be someone who got shot, and as long as you can get shot, but you got to die. Donald, you can't make it. Donald almost made it into the Christendom. The Christendom almost was able to capitalize itself with Trump as king and put him on Mount Rushmore because he has erectile dysfunction. That's probably why they call it Rushmore, but that's a whole other topic. But you've got this conceptual notion that there's a kingdom of Christ, that there's a Genghis Khan. And Genghis is consensus. We've discussed this. The Khan of census would be the god of census. Census would be the collection of all people and how they feel. This means that if you can't say the word cosmology, or if you find pragmatism, or God forbid transcendentalism, or Jesus Christ, if you read an American philosophy book, you're going to be in that tiny minority that's like, who the fuck are these people? And why are they insisting on cutting someone's genitals and sexualizing a child in the name of protecting children from sexualization? And guys, there's no reason to be surprised by it anymore. You got half the world mutilating girls so that the other half of the world that mutilates boys can say, look how evil those guys are over there for mutilating the girls. Then the whole time is, we're not going to sexualize the girl, which is why we're going to put you in a beauty pageant, little Miss Tabby. And little Miss Tabby, we're going to dress up like a whore and send her down to Arizona so she can compete in Miss Trump's Tiny Universe pageant, where the tiny titties are awarded from all the things, but we're not sexualizing the child, even though we're covering them with makeup, even though the only way I can even convey the story is by talking in this strange accent, because that's how backwards ass it is. But the world is not broken. I say that in a preacherous way because it's truer in this world if you say things like that. Which one of you has the Netanyahu in your corner? Huh? Which one? Which one of you's got the ancient angry Jew in your corner? Because that's who's winning. Tell you what, we get the Jew in here. We let him pick sides like a dog, where we film a TikTok where we're like, which one of us does the dog like more? And you're watching the dog, and the dog is like, are you fucking making me choose? And the rest of the world's watching. What's it going to be, dog? Which one are you going to go for? And we're just like, oh, no, we would be more sovereign and powerful if only the state of New Jersey in the Middle East wasn't so powerful. That if it wasn't for the state of New Jersey run by this really retarded cartoon reject bad villain, that if he wasn't so dastardly, we would be able to get by, and we would be healed. and crossed him with Charlie Kirk at the top and Donald Trump at the bottom, we would be saved again.
Is we have to secure that part of the base of our support of the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance.
I was a guest at the Hamptons. I was in the sessions. I do not know everything that took place. Obviously, there could have been conversations outside of the sessions that I was in. I met Bill Ackman. He did not come across as aggressive. I never witnessed him yelling at Charlie. It never felt like an intervention. It just felt like, a bunch of influencers getting together to debate various topics. There were a lot of pro-Israel influencers there. I did notice.
Yeah, so look, just because a bunch of millionaires invited us to the Hamptons, and just because they flew us out to Gaza on their private jets, and just because they give us, never mind, I was going to make an argument that I'm not paid for by the Jews, but I realized I sort of told them myself halfway through my explanations, but that's okay. That's okay, because, man, Trump almost got shot, all right? And if Trump's about to get shot, then you need to reconcile your reconciliation. Because, guys, this is the future. This party, where is the fucking... Hang on a second. I'm having trouble. You got to go over here, then you got to go over here. Where is the future of the party's not listening, ladies and gentlemen? And they're not listening because the ketchup has fallen. The drip of democracy has come, and it's time for one world government. We're going to have one government, and that government is going to be worldly. It's going to have a kingdom. We're going to have a Christ. And we're going to put his body on top for a while. And then if any of you want to be on top, you can be on top too. All you got to do is act like a jackass. Walk around the country and dichotomize everyone. Divide them in two. Create a Mason-Dixon line. But I don't want you on the right to hear when I say Dixon that this is an opportunity to bring down Grindr, okay? Grindr is a company. All right, Republicans? They're a country contributing to the tax base that makes America great. And if you guys are going to convene during Charlie Kirk's ceremony and have your butt sex, I see through it. I know you are trying to take down the left's agenda by bringing Grindr down, and you're doing it in the name of Christ because you're like, I will go to the back of the 7-Eleven and give this guy a Slurpee in the name of God, because if we bring down Grindr, it will be a sign that God is angry at the left for practicing gay stuff. So we here in the convention are going to all log on to Grindr, and we're going to take one for Jesus. We're going to take it deep. We're going to deep throat some Jesus, and we're going to bring Grindr down, because this is how we will destroy the left. And you guys are probably just like, James, that people don't do that. Do they? And I'm like, guys, they fucking do that. They fucking do that. They fucking do that, all right? Now, Grindr has come out and said that we deny all the allegations that we were shut down during Charlie Kirk's, that was very disrespectful, during Charlie Kirk's, what do you call that? Is it like it's not really a memorial. No one was really memorializing him. Was it really like a revival? Because no one tried to raise him out of the dead. Even though that hall, did you know that hall was booked in May? That they booked that hall in May. They were just like, hey, we're gonna rent the biggest hall in September in Phoenix because we're gonna have a Turning Point event. And a lot of you guys are like, well, that's because everything's planned. And You sound like Sapolsky, by the way. You actually sound like a liberal Stanford guy that's like has way too long curly hair and you're just walking around with these really sad eyes because you decided that the entire world is deterministic. And I'm just like, dude, Robert, come here. You're smart as fuck. But don't you understand that free will is your immersion into the limbicness? See, because there's no study of, we'll talk about a tangent, because there's no study of like consciousness itself at a university level, these people that are on this kick where everything is deterministically chemically are actually dealing in a world of science that doesn't even accept consciousness as like a study. It's not even like a field. It's not even a field. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science. Do you realize that Bachelor of Science, the fact that we called this a Bachelor of Science, is in fact a monistic Christendom of science itself? That science has literally came in and said, look, everything else is arts, but not us, because we are truth. And this is what a religion looks like. When you're studying the religions of old, and you're like, how did they get that way? Why do they behave that way? There's no way that this would work in modern society. You're wrong. You're watching it work right now. This is how it works right now. It looks so ubiquitous, just like this, that when you post on, I'm a little butthurt about this. I'm going to admit, I'm going to bring it up again. But when you post on social media in a science group that's like got Neil deGrasse Tyson, and first of all, anyway, I won't even talk about the boy band stuff, but when you see things like that, then you just want to post, hey, you guys, what's funny is that science, the word, the etymology actually just means the psi is the collective. I'm not making this up. It's just the etymology. If you look up the word science, it just literally means what is known. But when you look at what is known, the definition of knowledge is the lore of people. The lore of people is just folklore. Folklore is what people say they know. We know there are fairies. That's a folklore. We know that the river runs dry in the back of your pocket. If you ain't got a ticket to the socket, cause grinders gonna come. But whatever whatever folklore you tell yourself defines your reality. And this is just what science is. So when you're looking at the word science and you actually take apart the etymology, you unzip that corset of science and she just pops out. You're just like, look at this. You're just folklore. These are just folklore boobies. And she's just like, yeah, I got 7 of them. I've got 7 boobies because everyone keeps sucking on my teeth. So you're a Christum. So you got a science-dom and you got a Christum. Which one's better? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Which one's better? Would you rather have a science-dom or would you rather have a Christum? Because both of them look the same. And let's get back to this whole idea of the egregore, because the egregore is not listening to you. The egregore is looking for someone to listen to. The egregore needs the drama of persecution to justify righteousness. And this is why when you're looking at the left, make fun of the right, and when you're looking at the right, make fun of the left, it's really difficult for you to understand that these people are actually sucking each other off, that this is actually, I'm sorry, there's a lot of sexual references here, that each person is pleasing each other in a physical sensory way, which is titillating. Is that better? So each of the other person is, I would say jack people off, but that would introduce the idea. So therefore, if I'm telling you I would say this, then I can introduce the idea without actually introducing the idea. But both sides are basically diddling each other. But they're diddling each other through the auspice of hate. And this is just your basic 8th grade relationship where a girl's just like, I don't fucking like you. Now Timmy's like all turned on. Timmy's like, oh my God, she doesn't like me. And that's how we used to tell each other we liked each other. Your patent leather shoes are stupid. And that means I fucking love you. I think about you. When I eat my peas at night, when I'm at home, I think, what is Beth Franklin doing right now? Is she eating somewhere out there? Is she eating peas too? Is that? And the only way you can convey that is you're going to go to her in the next day in class and you're going to fucking make fun of her patent leather shoes. As I told you, the egregore is going to have to grow up later than you because it's the collective you. It won't grow up later than you if you're one of the guys that's halfway behind, which is why I'm going to take this little sidebar to encourage you all. Guys, why are you trying so hard? Why are you, wait a minute. Wait. No, wait, let's go to this page. No, wait, let's go to this page. No. Why are you trying? Oh, wait, but that's not right at all. Wait, oh, God, did I just break this? Good. No, I used to have music on here. Everything's reset. Guys, you can go back. You could take the blue pill. Excuse my FX problems here. You can go back. You can take the blue pill. You don't have to be this awake. You don't have to be all like, oh, I got to figure it out and I'm mad. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that if you've got it figured out, you should not be mad. If you have it figured out, if you see the world like I see the world, there's nothing to be mad at because you're just watching each of us punk ourselves through like weird Grindr Heyoka shit, through weird like trans stuff, through all the weird shit that we do to each other in public while we're pretending to do something else is us punking each other. And I think the problem that throws people off, the reason why so many people don't have energy is that they're expecting more out of the egregore, and the egregore is a child. The egregore can't listen to you. The egregore knows no sounds except for what comes from their own belly, the deepest desires. What are the deepest desires of Americans? The deepest desire of an American is to be ruled by one of two thoughts. Literally. To be ruled by one of two thoughts. Do you know why? Because if there's only two thoughts in the world, there's a good chance you're going to be right. Your odds of being right go up tremendously if there are only two thoughts in the world. So when you're looking at the teats of this creature comfort thing that we have that we call politics, we shoot foreigners because it allows us to have this dichotomy. It allows us to have, look, at least I'm not sucking on the left teat. And the other people are like, at least I'm not sucking on the right teat. And the whole time, she's getting bigger. And there's only so much lipstick you can put on this pig. There's only so much. You know what? I take it back. Pigs are fucking awesome. Pigs have nothing to do with this at all. All right? Looking at you right now. I mean, I'm seriously, that's like insulting to some of the finest animals in the world to even say that it's related to this. But lipstick on a pig is a pretty good analogy. You got to figure out a way to bring this up again. But this is really where it's at. So the people that are mad, the people that are angry, the people that are insisting that we have to fix this are the people that are sucking the teats of this thing. You don't believe me, do you? I don't need you to believe me. Because we live in a world that romanticizes that, well, Van Gogh cut his ear off because he liked a chick. He was just like, oh, I love you so much. She's like, oh, thank you, Vincent. But I have a shift today at the wine bar. I said, what do you mean you have a shift? You should stay home and make love to me. She's like, no, I'm an independent woman. I have a cat now. And I'm going to go in to work the shift. And he's like, oh, baby, you can't leave me. I'm an artist. I need you. I need you. I need you to fight, fight, fight. We're told that that's what happened. We're told that it was for love, that it was for this deeper, deeper sense of love, this deep longing, this something important. That all the soldiers that die are dying for something important because they know they don't have time to listen, James, because they are passionately ripping off their own ears in the name of love, in the name of righteousness. And it was 1888, December. Snow was falling. Wait, how do you do the sound for snow? There, this is my sound for snow falling. It's really cold. During a period of intense emotional distress, likely a severe mental health crisis, Van Gogh gets himself into a heated argument with his friend, fellow artist Paul Gauguin, leading to self-mutilation with a razor. That the precise reasons are debatable, but common theories include a desperate cry for help, an act of self-punishment, and a manifestation of his deteriorating mental state. Would you like to know how the locals interpreted this? Do you think that the locals during the time of this happening took this to mean, well, clearly Vincent is just having a desperate cry for help and an act of self-punishment and a manifestation of a deteriorating mental image. No, that's not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. But we romanticize it because we love the story. We love the lore. We love the folklore. And this is why science is such a crucial part of this religion that we call, it's really majoritarianism. And I know that's a fancy word too. It just means the collection of people that formulate an opinion just because there's a lot of them around. That I'm saying to you, this is the true fascism that's I would say tearing apart America, but America's like, rape me. America loves this shit. America's just like, I'm going to dress in a provocative way. James, you cannot blame the way America dresses. Yeah, I can. Okay, America dresses like a fucking whore. She's asking for it all the time, literally 24/7. She's just like, will you come rape my giant budget? We've collected all the finest tax dollars in the world in parts. And the sooner you realize how retarded it is, I think you can relax. Believe it or not, I think you can relax. James, how does that work? How could you relax if you realize the world's run by retards? Because every single thing that you've ever believed was you being a retard about it before. This is why you can relax. Because all the attention that you gave it, all the times that you worshiped this fucking system before by paying taxes, by contributing, by pretending to even try and get along, by even having an opinion, by shaming the Republicans for taking down Grindr like I'm doing now. All of these are participating in that system just simply because of the way the egregore works. The egregore requires people around. And when you have a bunch of people around, if you have a pedophile that's committing pedophilia right now and continues to commit pedophilia, that person will rise to the top because that person is sociopathic enough to understand how the egregore works. It's a secret insight that you gain the moment that you shed your own pride, that you shed yourself. And many of us do not make it out of that. What I mean is that the moment that you shed this expectation that the world is supposed to be logical, proper, built on morals, and that only the good guys have won, you are ready to finally enter the jungle for the first time, that you're in a conscious nest, so to speak. And the nest is so obvious. And that what's happening is that through the gauntlet of Corona, there's like a white sun. I know this sounds really confusing, but if you consider that consciousness has to kind of go through these aperture openings over time, I think it's pretty clear that we're in a white sun now. And this is the era of fuck around and find out. I'm not just using that word loosely. This is a giant vernacular word now. Charlie Kirk fucked around and found out. Donald Trump just got through saying fuck around, or Seth, whatever, the dude who's like, there are too many, I'm a closet homosexual and the soldiers are too fat. Like this just came out 2 days ago. Like the secretary of fucking war, he wants to be called that. I'm the secretary of pounding is what he is. Because he's coming out on the camera telling everybody, hey, look, we're the strongest, fightingest, most capable military that's ever been assembled. And I'm watching you guys walk around and I just think you're too fat. And this is a gay sex dream being practiced inside the Pentagon at a press conference where generals are called in from all over the world to sit in a fucking chair and listen to a fucking O3. You know what an O3 is? That means he enlisted as an officer because he had a college degree, and he raised 3 ranks. 3 ranks. He's not even a petty officer. He's not even a sergeant, like in the officer world, if you think about it that way. Not even equipped to be a sergeant. And he's talking in front of all the military generals in the world. I would tell you some of the most powerful war heroes in the world, but they're not fucking war heroes. And this is another tricky thing, that this is why a lot of people are just like, James, I can't fucking handle this. I need war heroes. And I get it. You need war heroes. But war heroes aren't wearing uniforms, bitches. And you're just like, but I need a war hero that I can see. I need to be able to spank to him, James. I need to have that uniform. Got to have that brass. And that brass is the jaguar teeth of Amuraka. It's not, guys, stop like blaming it on us like it's all like us. This is soil. You are the living soil. You're going to act like a living soil retard. You are the living jungle. You're the fingers of this place. And the egregore needs you to be ashamed of it, because literally it's the only thing that makes the egregore grow. And you're looking at a gigantor, a Cyrus, that is just in its suckling stage right now. It can't even stand up. And it needs you to stand up. And the shame that it has collectively because of how horribly it behaves is precisely the excuse it uses to keep itself down. And many of you are like, well, you have to keep this thing down. We cannot advance. We can't have digital ID, or we can't have crypto, or we can't have all the other things that we insist are somehow going to save us, because if we can cling to our bump stocks, if we can cling to our cash that we get out of the ATM machine, where literally every single person that works in a bank has access to every single bit of your private information, your driver's license, your latest video when you pulled money out of the machine, your home address, the amount of money that you have in your bank, literally every single financial transaction that you've ever made. And I'm just talking about the bank. Now let's get into Equifax. Let's get into TransUnion. Let's get into the 3 major credit bureaus that have been collecting the same information. And you've had no problem with it since the 70s. Since the Datsun B210 came out for $4,450, and someone guessed that price once on The Price is Right and won that car, we have been giving our digital information to the mycelium. And I want you to consider that in the white sun, you're seeing people that are like, Palantir is going to steal our information. And these people are in denial. You could be one of these people. You could be like, fuck you, James, fuck you. I really want to hate Palantir. And it's because the music is too good, so why would you stop? But I don't want you to stop. I want you to dance, bitch. I want you to dance. I want you to dance as much as you want about this thing, because ultimately your angst is your way of pollinating this group, because the group is running by collective juice, which means I implore you, can you please put more electric juice in? Can you please have more of an opinion about things? Have more of one. And one of the clearest ways you can have an opinion about something is to withhold your witness from something. I'm waiting for the collective to realize, I don't, like, this to me is like beyond stupid that, what, excuse me, 110 million voters, registered voters, something like that. It's probably way higher than they say it actually is. Literally wake up in the morning and they go, hey, out of 110 registered voters, 110 million registered voters, it's very likely that the only 2 people that I would ever have a choice to vote for would happen to be the same guys as last time. That the odds of that being the case are just so clearly make sense. And that the entire electoral process makes sense. The fact there's never been a scandal in the college. The fact that the government has told you since the 50s that, look, we get to build our own industries now to protect national security. And you're just like, that's fine. And you've been told stories like the government that makes you watch CNN in the airport. The government that is embedded so deep that CNN is forced to be playing in an airport, that they don't coordinate when they interview Osama bin Laden 12 times, the most dangerous predator in the world. That all the things that we've had it happen to us, that when Corona came out and they kept showing you pictures of planes, that they can shut down literally every single thing about daycare, but for some reason the Federal Aviation Commission is unable to shut down planes, that they were unable to shut down planes. In fact, they actually broadcasted it more because they wanted people to believe the idea that if you lived in the outback of Australia, cue Tom Hanks, that you would get corona because of airplanes. Now you can say the world is fucked up, but no, it's the egregore that's fucked up. The egregore is exercising its imagination to fetishize its play date. And I want you to stop calling this wrong, because you did this too. When you were a child, you played the same way. You had ridiculously stupid fantasies. Ridiculous. Where you saved the fucking world. Or you saved the fucking princess. Or you traveled and saved the sacred whatever. Or you killed the fucking dragon. Or whatever the fuck you did. And that's what the egregore is doing now. The collective imagination of all of your abandoned imagination is feeding that bitch right now, and she's loving it. I think the way to do it is to pull your witness out of the collective news and just put it more locally. Because a lot of people are like, you have to not, or you got like Alex Zek who's walking around now, during the biggest war on your freedoms, like, there's no such thing as contagion. Contagion doesn't exist. It's a myth, and there's no virus. listen. And like the dude that was trying to distract you during the most important time in the world is now telling you, don't pay attention to all the things that are happening. Those are all fake, brah. Those aren't the real issues. And you're just like, are you fucking hypocrite? Are you fucking serious? And if you can get to the proper place where it's taken me a while to hold this place, you realize this is all music. And I'm sitting here in a club and I'm dancing to the music of Charlie Kirk. And Alec wants to come up to me and says, this music's fake, man. You got no reason to listen to this music. It's all just being used to control you. And I'm just like, yeah, I want the music to control me. I literally want the environment around me to have an influence on me because I am connected to it. And if you could start to look at the egregores stories as a child spitting out a beatbox while you're in the kitchen cooking, and that if you could be the parent that stops like, oh my God, he said he's gonna get a gun and he's gonna go rolling with his homies and he's gonna get seen and he's gonna smack that bitch up and I gotta fucking do something. We need more laws. That instead, if you could listen to the egregore, give it no power at all, but just listen to its stories, listen to it fantasize in public about things, and then just watch all the adults who buy into it and just see them as children. I think children are great. I don't mean this as an insult. I mean literally see them as children. Literally, the next time you watch someone actively participating in politics, just realize you're sitting next to someone who's watching professional wrestling, and don't be a fucking prude about it. Don't be a prude about it, because if you're going to be a prude about it, you are the one who's trying to bring them into your thing where let's go listen to Andy Kaufman tell us about nanotechnology now, because clearly the dude is like really versed in that too. He must be, because he keeps telling me exactly what I want to hear, and yet it never dawns on me that maybe that's why that dude is fucking talking. And when you start to do this, you no longer bunk things by default. You no longer see science as this educational system where all these facts are distributed through a vending machine, and you could start to see more belief, not less. See, some of you are fetishizing the idea that you can hold your sphincter through this entire world and never ever believe. And you are believing harder than the rest of us. Which is why I encourage you to unclench the polyvagus, to relax and deep into the propagation, admit contagion is not only real, you are guilty as shit of it, because it's literally kept you alive since the moment you got here. You are practicing your personal egregore. You are practicing your personal cosmology. And until truthers want to discuss the technology of belief and would rather insist that contagion isn't real and belief's a fucking myth, and unless it's Tom Cowan, but even though he doesn't have an email address, he's truly trying to save the world by educating people about virus. And you have to realize this is all play. Andy Kaufman gets zero props for being true. He only gets props for telling you what you want to hear. Same for me. Same for all of us. And until we see our own hyena inside the truth movement, we're never going to be, we have no business even trying to point outside the foxhole saying it's them, not us, because it is us. It has never been us more. It has never been us more. And I honestly think that you could lean into this more and just enjoy things, because these are people playing in the playground. And the reason why you may get mad at some is really just comes down to because you believed them. You believed them. And more importantly, you followed a crew that believed them. And that you listening to the talking heads that's like, this is all true, and this is all true, and this is all true. And every week they're telling you something else that's outrageously amazing, and they insist it's true, and you never hear a debate about it. And the second anyone brings up that maybe it's not, they're ostracized and blackballed out of that cult. I want you to see that cult as culture, that this is the most important thing about being human. And the more you try and shame that and run away from that, or whitewash it as like righteousness or kingdomdom, or your party is the only one right, or that your truth is the only one right, or God forbid you turn into a zealotry like they did with Flat Earth, where you had the opportunity to introduce Zeticism into a culture, and instead the people caramelized it and turned into, I know for fucking sake it's flat, and if you fucking doubt that it's flat, you're a fucking piece of shit. And you're just like, dude, are you? Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? And I think if you can relax and start to just enjoy how everyone's playing, I think you'll find that this is actually giving you much more clues, because the flat earthers that have to freeze at flat earth, the antivirus that have to freeze at antizome, where everything is an anti. I only believe in anti things. I'm anti-globe. I'm anti-zome. I'm antivirus. I'm anti-contagious. I'm pro-hoax. Same thing. I'm anti-bunk. I'm anti-this. You're looking at a religion that's pretending not to be a religion. You're looking at a belief that's pretending to be a belief when actually it's just the negation of another belief, which means it's a barnacle. It's a barnacle cosmology. And you are never going to be able to leverage your placebo. This is why I talk about all the time. You're never going to be able to leverage your placebo, my friends, unless you believe in contagion, unless you believe in propagation, unless you believe that your propaganda that you emit from your sonar dome, you dolphin with kneecaps walking around, emitting this bubble of fantasy, until you are ready to admit that, someone else is going to do that for you. They're going to do that for you. And you're not going to have a choice, because people want to find God. They want a personal relationship with omniscience. And if God's invisible, there's going to be people that are going to put things right in front of the invisible God, hoping that you will connect to it. This is Noahide politics. And it's law now. It's been law for a long time. Grindr insists that they didn't go down. And then when you read the reports about how it's down, I think they just have to do this. They just have to say things like this. These are their customers. I showed you that clip at the beginning. And I just want to, this sounds kind of self-serving, sorry, but I just want to remind you guys that I said this in 2017. And I showed this picture because this is Netanyahu with the founders of Breitbart right behind him. The entire OAN network, Breitbart itself, is just part of the state that you think is not the state. You keep thinking this is not the state. And when Trump was first in office, the Pentagon had Politico, New York Times, and NBC vacate their physical office space, which were replaced by New York Post, OANN, Breitbart, and Huffington Post. And that these kinds of things are just the state. You just want to feel better. You want to feel like the state is not that big, so you call it the media. You want to feel like the state's not that big, so you call it the Department of Public Safety. You call it the fire department. But then when you watch what happens in COVID, you realize, no, this is the entire state. The entire state. And they already have your information. And the people that are saying you have to freak out right now because they're going to get you information are trying to be in denial about them having their information. And if you want to be in denial, that's a song too. I'm not here to stop you from that. But if you're going to listen to me, we have to crank out a certain kind of imagination. Okay, we're pollinators in the world, James True Live. We're here to pollinate. I'm not even saying I'm right. I'm here to pollinate. Here to distribute my propaganda in the best way possible because I want to make the world a better place. How do I make the world a better place? First of all, convince people the world's not broken. It sounds fucked, right? But that's step one. If I could convince you the world's not broken, you might relax. If you can relax, you're just going to treat people better. If you can relax, you're going to have more calories, which means you're going to feel less threatened. If you have more calories, you will always feel less threatened. Even if you're in front of a giant dragon who's having a really bad day. If you have more calories versus less, you're going to feel less threatened. It's just true. And when you have less threatening nature, you're going to enter into the frontal part of your nervous system. You're going to be able to read the room better. You're going to be able to optimize your sonar and better detect who and what is doing things. And you'll be able to have a better presence, a better understanding when you're looking at, guys, the politics is 50, I think the Democratic, both, if you added up both parties' budgets, it comes to 55 million, which means that we've agreed in American politics that every voter has to spend 50 cents. Every voter has to spend 50 cents, and that's all of our political spending we're going to do. And this is the same argument as bump stocks. This is the same argument as we got to make this one particular gun illegal, or this certain kind of automatic part of it illegal, because we will be safe, even though you can print these things now, even though you can just buy nitrate. I don't want to say it because it triggered it off. But you can buy all the implements of destruction you want. And I want to look at the truth movement for a second here, because you guys were trying to make fun of me for saying that what happened to Charlie Kirk is real. And I've told you again, I'm more than open to the idea of anything hitting the mythology, but I study mythology. I study what people think, because to me, what people believe to be true is so much more important than your fetish idea you have for this. You're the only one in the world that has this truth and no one else knows it. I think that's copping out. And I'll tell you why, because right after Charlie Kirk, 2 days later, a MAGA dude drove into a church, set it on fire, killed a buttload of people. And the same people that are like, it's an auto hoax, didn't say a fucking word. And these are people that want your attention, that are desperately dying for your attention. And they're so desperate for you that they're going to insist that everything's fake, but they're the only ones that understand because they're looking at the reflection in their glasses. And they don't say a fucking word when this guy takes out, 10 people? I don't know. It's a big one. Same thing for the shooting that happened during Charlie Kirk's shooting. Some kind of Nazi gun violence thing. And that each of us, I know, do not give a shit about the people that died, because we use these bodies as fodder, which is the exact opposite of honoring someone who's dead. If you were placing medals on your orange painted dead husband's body, and he's only been dead for 26 hours, and you're shooting video of him posed with different, like a Pez dispenser, then a medal, that maybe not a Pez dispenser, I might have made that up, but this medal and that medal, and then all these different Instagram opportunities. You were looking at people that are not online yet. You're looking at consciousness that is not online yet. And only the people that are not online yet are going to be able to lie to you consistently over and over every single time. I don't have the calories for it. I'm very selfish where I put my energy. Very selfish. It's pathetic how selfish I am with that. I see a finitude in my time left. I want so much to be able to press the records of every single thing that I've seen and known, because I really want to pollinate the world, because it belongs to me. This world belongs to me. I have never been able to get a stream to stay on YouTube where I explain Steve Bannon. It gets taken down every single time. I've been called by YouTube a bully for reporting on this. And I've never seen something more obvious. I've never seen anything more obvious before in my life about how it works. And as I've said before, the OANN network is a military arm out of Langley. It's a media company that is pretending to be a media company and is just straight up just military ops, just news warfare, constantly 24/7. These are all the steps that have been removed from YouTube that I've shown you every single time this gets removed. The steps that prove that Steve Bannon, every single thing that he did in relation to placing terror, reality terrorism on the stage. I've also covered the couple from the Obama administration that implemented a lot of the USS Cole bombings that had an impact on policy then. That you have terror writers, you have producers that come onto the stage, that enter into a administration. Breitbart's one of them. And you sell them the keys to Julian Assange. You sell them the keys to there are 19 terrorists and Brennan's behind them. You sell them the keys to Epstein. You sell them the keys to a pedo submarine. And when you start to look at what actually happened with Trump, it's some of the most brilliant kind of espionage in the world because of how stupid people are. It's only because of how accommodating, how Stockholm people are, that we're able to see this dance so clearly. And this is a blessing. This is a Building 7 blessing. This is a red pheasant that's being shown to you. The folly is being shown to you in real time. And here's the thing. The lesson is not that it's folly. The lesson is not that they're stupid. You might think that that's the lesson, but it's not. The real lesson is that people believe it. The real lesson is that not only do people believe it, they want to believe it. The real lesson is not only do they want to believe it, but there's nothing at all you can do to change that if you're going to try and give more facts. If you're going to try and utilize what you think is truth to win this battle, because the entire Paloma is belief. It's plasma. It's loyalty, and most importantly, it's psychic weakness. Ultimately, what slows us down, I think, is psychic weakness. The weakness we have not to do better, the weakness we have not to see ourselves as ridiculous as it is. The Humanist Report put these videos together. Hats off to him. I'll have the link in the comments. The same guy that the MAGA guy said this.
Israel 365 did help put together a whole trip where they were helping some influencers and creators and people who are behind the scenes. They were helping get us there to take us on a tour. So yeah, I went there with them, and they got a small grant that had to do with, like, I think they said like a quarter of their expenses, and it was just like a grant to help, people come and see what was actually going on. And that had nothing to do with the Gaza trip, by the way.
Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again.
You must see anti-Semites are literally obsessed with Jews. Now walk with me. While you must see anti-Semites are stacking eviction notices, Jews are out here stacking up businesses.
Jews control all the industries. Maybe if you spent more time taking notes from successful people, you wouldn't have to spend your nights and weekends spreading hate from your anonymous account with an anime profile picture.
Do you work as hard as Jews?
And you see where this is going, right? I mean, Idiocracy doesn't really cover it, because ultimately the only attention that's going to win is just more blatant peculiarity. And so you're going to need to be more brash, more irreverent, more gay, more patriotic, more Christian, more Christum, more militant, more racist, more Charlie Kirk, more what is that guy's name? Nick Fuentes. This is the only choice. There's no way to do this without going back. I discuss this with Appetite a lot. If you're going to be eating ketchup and mustard all day long, you're developing a taste for one of two poles, and those things are so primary. The coloring is so primary that you lose the ability to taste subtle energy. And not everybody wants to have subtle energy, but the moment we do start to taste subtle energy, all the other chromatics come out, all the other octaves that we didn't know there come out. We have a dojo in 1 minute. You should come. We can talk about this more. Thank you for watching James True.